understand that where is the policy headed or likely policy headed and what's the way forward. And to give us some more sense on that, we are being joined by Professor Madhav Das Nalapar, who is the Director of Geopolitics and International Relations at Manipal University. Hi, very good morning and good to be speaking with you. First up, help us understand that how do you see this latest on Trump with respect to the tariff on Canada and Mexico? There has been a 1-month delay, but with respect to China, no such announcements. Give us some sense that where do you see and how do you see these major geographies react to that, and why this recent change in Trump's view?
Well, look, China is not out of its crosshairs, far from it. In fact, they are now looking actively at decoupling from China, and so should we, frankly. We are way too dependent on China, including for pharmaceutical intermediates, all kinds of products. And we have a very large trade imbalance with China, and we need to work on that. The US is working on that. I mean, we are talking about one particular step in a long series of steps that began when Trump was sworn in and which is going to continue over the next 18 months or so. So let's get used to it. Now, as far as we are concerned, apart from decoupling from China, I think we have an opportunity here because obviously the US cannot dealing from China at the same time not have a sufficiently low-cost producer. So we need to align our regulatory and tax policies to stimulate domestic investment, stimulate domestic production, check out what what goods are needed in the US. You know, the Chinese for the last 30 years, if not more, have been sending delegation after delegation of people looking like tourists. They go to malls, they go to shops, they go to bazaars, they go to markets, they go to all kinds of places and find out exactly where are the locations where the Chinese can enter and drive out Indian and other business and what their prices are. I think we need to do a similar market study, and there'll be a whole range of issues a whole range of items in which we can really ramp up our production. And for that, this is not business as usual. We'll have to understand that we are living in a globalized world. In the case of India, for example, crypto was banned. What happened? All the Indian crypto wallets, many of them unfortunately migrated to China. So our government doesn't know who's holding crypto assets. The Chinese do. Indians holding crypto assets. No, there are certain things that are part of everyday economic occurrence. You cannot roll them back. And India is not alone. We're not the only country in the world. So I think we need to ensure that our regulatory systems, our tax systems are brought in alignment with the need to compete in global markets. We have a very huge trade deficit. We've been running that deficit for a very long time. I'm sure the Commerce Minister is working hard to address it. Certainly the Prime Minister is worried about it and is working hard to address it. Well, the fact is, the US presents an opportunity as well. An opportunity for Indian small-scale sector, medium sector, and by the way, the Chinese have scored heavily in developing their own SMEs and the small and medium sector. We need to do the same. We need to encourage them. And for that, we need good market research. We need tax and regulatory policies that align with the needs of industry to be competitive in pricing. And I'm very certain we can take advantage of it within Modi 3.0. So I'm not worried. This is an opportunity. I see it as that.
All right, but also, Professor Das, give us some sense specifically on Canada as a market, because though the blanket tariff of 25% tariff on auto has been delayed by 1 month, but at the same time, Trump is also talking about fresh new tariffs on Canada, including lumber and 250% tax on dairy. Along with that, we also have a new leader in Canada. That's the news flow for today morning as well. So under this new regime, what's your sense that what will be Canada's stance, and is the tension between US and Canada is expected to get intense even more from these levels?
Look, let's be honest, Justin Trudeau was very good at selling himself. As a politician, he was not good, frankly, at formulating policy. He has done a lot of damage to India-Canada relations, which I hope the new leader, who is quite experienced, will be able to rectify. And I'm sure the Justin Trudeau basically reacted, as though this is a teenage game, some kind of a kabaddi match where Trump's tariffs are concerned. And he tried to act the hero. There's no question of being a hero here. Those who try to act the hero end up as zeros. So I hope the new person is going to I'm sure he's going to be much more sensible. He has way more experience in actual success in business and understanding finance and global business than Trudeau ever had. So Canadians are lucky to be rid of Justin Trudeau and have a new person in town. And I'm very sure that they are going to work out an amicable situation with the US. The fact is the US and Canada are very closely intertwined, as is the case the US and Mexico. So these are teething problems, let's put it that way. And I'm very, very certain they're going to be addressed by the new Prime Minister of Canada. And certainly the President of Mexico will be having back channels through her own people with the United States. So I said, this is a temporary phase. Once the dust settles down, I think you'll have a very significant change in the global order. Mexico and Canada have been used as a dumping ground for Chinese exports to the US. That's misuse of Mexico and Canada. In the case of India, for example, we can't talk about supply chain supplying to the US and then have most of the components come from China. That's not going to be acceptable anymore. So we have to build our own supply chains. So has Mexico, so has Canada. So again, I'd like to say that this is a work in progress. The dust is there. It'll settle down. Give it about 18 months, it will settle down. So I'm not worried about it. Only thing is, or whether it's Mexico, India, or Canada, or indeed the United States, some of the measures taken by the US don't seem to be particularly good from at least a political standpoint. Elon Musk, frankly, he's had only one constituent, and that's himself. He reported to himself. Musk reports to, Trump reports to the majority of Americans, if not all of Americans. So quite frankly, Elon Musk is turning out to be a political disaster for Trump. And I think it's only a question of time before he exits the scene. Having said that, I want to say, this is not the old order. This is not the old situation. It's a new situation, a new order calling for new policies, flexibility, adjustability, and these are matters which I'm sure under consideration in India. The finance minister, the commerce minister will be working closely with the prime minister to address this. And I'm sure Mexico and Canada will as well, as will the United States. I mean, they've understood some of the errors they have made. Trump, frankly, has distanced himself from Musk quite publicly. And I believe that he now understands that Elon Musk may be great in his own business, but
Yeah.
even then, getting involved in politics is going to knock Tesla shares
Certainly.
very badly and affect Tesla sales, which it already has.
Well, we'll certainly watch out for that. But with this, we'll let you go on that. Professor Das, thank you so much for taking the time out and giving some more sense on this particular topic with related to the fresh tariffs and what's been the developing there. But other than
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.